Hey everybody, it's Daniel here with Mobile Syrup, and today we are looking at the iPhone 6 and iPhone 6 Plus. You can see them here. I have both models in front of me, and they're brand new straight from the Apple Store. And they come in these interesting boxes, and the boxes are quite unique in the sense that they don't really show anything of the phone itself. It's just an outline of the front of the device with that home button. It just says iPhone on it. There's no iPhone 6 or anything like that. And they're quite well designed, and I really like them. So those are the boxes. I'm not going to go into what's in them because unboxings are kind of useless. But you can see here 4.7 inches on the right, 5.5 inches on the left. And they're really thinner and much nicer to hold, even though they're bigger. So you can see here that the 4.7 inch device compared to a 4-inch iPhone 5S is not that much larger. It's only about 15% larger in actual volume, and it's also significantly thinner. So you see here, that's something that Apple really tried to do, is make the bigger phone more comfortable to hold with one hand. So that there's rounded edges, there's rounded glass, and even though there's this little protrusion on the back for the camera, and a lot of people are going to find that, a little bit dishonest in the sense that some of the promotional photos are trying to hide it. I think that was the best compromise for them. A lot of people were wanting thinner phones. They wanted the iPhone to look a little bit more like the iPod Touch, and that's what they got. You can see here the screen just falls off and kind of curves over the edges. It's a really nice design. The volume buttons are a little bit different now. They're no longer rounded. They're these lines, and they're much easier to press. The mute button is exactly the same, but the power button got moved from the top to the side to make it easier to press with one hand. The screen itself is a 1334 by 750 pixel display. It's an IPS display, and it's same pixel density as the iPhone 5, 5S, and 5C. All of the iPhones actually after the 4 at 326 pixels per inch. And that is certainly lower than many Android devices on the market. But the quality of the phone itself, the quality of the screen, viewing angles, viewability in sunlight, it's quite impressive. And I don't think anybody is actually going to notice that it's a lower pixel density than the leading Android phones. But we will get into the iPhone 6 Plus in just a second. You can see here as well, one of the major upgrades for the 6 and the 6 Plus is the home button. It feels a lot nicer in the hand, and it's a little bit, it's less clicky. It's a bit more tactile. It's very subtle, but it's nice. And obviously we have that speaker, the single speaker port on the bottom, with the microphone, lightning port, and headphone jack. So it looks like at 6.9 millimeters, the iPhone is actually limited by the size of the 3.5 millimeter headphone jack, and that's why they got rid of the 30-pin connector in the iPhone 5, because it was too thick. So now really the reason that the iPhone continues, and this is maybe the thinnest it ever gets, because the limitation, the physical size limitation on the camera is so significant. So that's something to keep in mind. 6.9 millimeters on the 6, and I'll put that to the side here. And this is the mammoth. This is the iPhone 6 Plus, 5.5 inches, 1980 or 1920 by 1080 pixels. That's a 1080p display, 401 pixels per inch. Again, not quite the highest on the market, but certainly one of the highest quality screens on the market. And you can see this is the silver version. Same idea. It's a little bit thicker. It's 7.1 millimeters, but iFixit found a 2900 milliamp hour battery as opposed to an 1800 milliamp hour battery for the iPhone 6. So that's also something to keep in mind. You're going to get about 2 days of battery life. So you can see here the same setup. We have those long line volume buttons. We have the power button on the right. We have the nano SIM slot. Top is now empty, which is interesting. Bottom, we have the speaker grill, lightning port, microphone, and the 3.5mm headphone jack. And turning it around, you can see here is the new camera. Now, the iPhone 6 Plus has optical image stabilization, which is something that a lot of people have been wanting from Apple, because the sensor itself, with its 1.5 micron pixels, is very good. It's a great sensor, but the image signal processor inside the device itself is what sets us apart from the rest of the industry. Apple has done a great job at adjusting exposure, shutter speed, ISO to the right settings at the right time. But the optical image stabilization, this is what's going to make it run, it's going to make it better in low light situations. So that's something to keep in mind here. We can do a quick size comparison with the iPhone 6, iPhone 6 Plus, and the iPhone 5S. Now, just to give you a sense of the size of the 4.7-inch iPhone 6, I'm going to put it right next to the 4.7-inch Moto X, and this is the original Moto X. You can see that it's quite a bit taller, but it's significantly thinner. So we have a very different design profile than the Moto X. You can see here, it's just a very different phone altogether. But the Moto X is still significantly smaller. It doesn't have any hardware buttons on the front, and it has very slim bezels. So it's mostly not, it's not that it's wider, it's just that it's shorter, because the iPhone has a very, it doesn't have that compact bottom portion. So that's something to keep in mind when you're purchasing the iPhone 6. And the iPhone 6 Plus, compared to the 5.5-inch LG G3, you can see here that the 6 Plus is significantly taller than the G3, also due to the home button. And when you turn it around, you can see that it's quite a bit thinner than the G3 as well. So again, very different designs. Apple makes very deliberate designs. They're not so curved. You can see here that the G3 takes advantage of its curves really nicely, whereas the iPhone is a little bit flatter. Though it is round on the sides, it's still very much a boxy device compared to the G3. So, that's just a quick size comparison between the G3 and the iPhone 6 Plus. We'll be doing a full review later on in September, so stay tuned. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions about the iPhone 6 or 6 Plus, please leave a comment.